Welcome to the Daily Edge, Marc Nudelberg, and today we've got an unbelievable entrepreneurial story. We've got Tom Derry here with us, who took responsibility for his brother. He's a great big brother. He's obsessed with process and details and simplicity, and we're gonna dive into his story of building a very successful car wash business that hires autistic people to be successful. Let's find our edge. I mean, this is unbelievable. Great hiring, great, first of all, referral program in for candidates.
Yep.
Really strong onboarding and well, first recruiting,
Yep.
right, in that interview process.
Yep.
And then, maximum of 2 weeks onboarding, maybe 5 days,
Yep.
hybrid training.
Yeah.
How did you develop specific training for this hybrid of, we have to teach people how to do a car wash, but we have to teach it specifically to people who have autism?
So through real life prototyping, right?
Okay.
So the first role that we did was the interior cleaning department. So like vacuuming the cars, drying down the cars, doing the tire shine, cleaning the rims and such. And so we in that prototype that we were doing, that's what we were trying to build. Like, how do you train this for people with autism? So we got some kind of template documents from Sonny's, from Car Wash College.
Yep.
And then we modified it. We made them more visual. So like more color coding, more pictures. Car Wash is already kind of heavy into that stuff, but we went extremely heavy on that stuff. And then simplifying, including different tools and such.
When you say simplifying, like simplifying the ability to use it or simplifying the language?
Both, but mainly the ability to actually do the work. So like, for instance, we use like the pneumatic air tools a lot, right? So at the time, a lot of car wash operators use like the long skinny tubes to get in the nooks and crevices. Right. We really just train on using that air gun to blow everything to the open areas. It's more efficient in general, but it's easier, right?
Yeah.
So we're just like kind of constantly trying to refine the processes.
Gotcha.
And as we got people to be successful, we said, okay, well, why is this person successful?
Right.
Right. So there's some physical attributes to it, right? It's a physical job.
Sure.
So we look for some of the physical attributes. We look for the ability to follow directions. We look for the ability to take feedback and not get discouraged. And some of this stuff can be coached and trained. And some of it is stuff that we want to see the person come with some level of degree.
Right.
And so again, though, it's a work sample. So for them to get hired, they have to pass the training.
Yeah.
Right. So if they pass the training, which most of the people do after they go through the initial.
So you identify the target, you put the target in the 5-day training.
Yeah.
And if they pass that, then they get hired.
That's right.
Incredible.
That's right. Yeah.
Incredible.
So that way we have a really high degree of certainty that person's going to be successful.
I mean, so I get it. It works really well for people who have autism and in this business that is centered around hiring people. But what business would this not work for?
I think that's
wouldn't
the
this
point.
make every car wash better?
I think I think in general, right? Like most business leaders struggle with building hiring processes that are not super biased. And so most of the time you sit in an interview, it's like, do I like this guy? Is he like me? Do I think he would vibe with the rest of the staff? And while some of those are important measures, most of the time they miss the mark on like, can this person actually do this job?
Right.
And even if they do hit that mark, they tend to really limit the scope of people that you could put into that role.
Yeah.
And that's where you end up with like, I can't fill this position because what I'm looking for is too specific because I've got all these erroneous qualifiers that are included. Or that like the people who I'm bringing in, they're not staying because there's not the value alignment that you want, right? So I think in general, like building an objective hiring process based on like what are the minimum things that this person needs to do, and then we train the rest of it, is how you build a durable system. And I think that's true for almost every role.
And so for like, say they're an entrepreneur, say they run a print shop like your dad used to own, and they're like, damn, I really need to hire like this.
Yeah.
What are some of like the principles to what you guys developed that they could use in their own business to help them build something similar?
Yeah, so reverse engineer against two different things. So one is build a strong training procedure, like the way that you would train someone to do this job that you're struggling to hire for, right?
Yeah.
Very specifically, right? Step by step, there's processes, there's procedures. This is the way you do the work. There's a clear success criteria, whether that be time, quality, or whatever.
Yep.
And say, okay, this is what I need the person to be able to do. Okay, so what is necessary for them to do those things, right? Maybe, you know, to do an interior cleaning, right? They have to be able to bend and stoop. They have to be able to reach across the front windshield. They have to be able to hold the vacuum and put pressure on it, right? But these are pretty basic things, right? And then who are my best employees that are doing that right now? You've probably got a couple bright spots, right? What makes them good?
Yeah.
And generally that's more, you know, behavioral character stuff that you then want to try to bottle up into questions and put like, this is the way this person would answer that question.
Yeah.
And if you do those things, I think you automatically become a more inclusive employer because you've kind of taken away the nonsense from what you're hiring for.
Yep.
And B, you widen the talent pool. And I think that's like the most important thing for most entrepreneurs. Like I have to widen the talent pool because especially if you're a new entrepreneur, you don't have a big brand presence, you don't have a big budget, like you're not getting a Harvard graduate to take this job, right? So what do I actually need?
Right.
And let me find that person. And then that for us, that allows us to double click on the character traits, right? So if I don't care about what you can do now, I'm saying really low standards for what you can do right now. I can set higher standards for how you interact, right? So what are your values and do they fit within the culture? And that doesn't mean culture fit, right? That not mean I'm trying to hire another dude like me.
Right.
It means we have similar values in the way that we handle adversity, similar ways that we work with other people, similar levels of humility, those types of things.
Are those core values that you have defined like in a book?
Yes.
And are they, so what's one of your core values?
Grit.
Okay, grit. Have you defined grit for yourself, or do you use like the text, the Webster dictionary?
Yeah, I think for the most part, everything we start with a template, right? So yeah, for sure we started with like Angela Duckworth's definition of grit. Yeah. And then we move into, okay, well, what specific aspects of that are important for us? Sure. And for us, it's all about like, how do you respond to failure? And how do you respond to a challenging situation? Do you say, hey, I can get better? Or I've fixed mindset?
It's so interesting because I would just assume, like, and this is just me, I would just assume that somebody who's dealt with autism their entire life would naturally have a growth mindset or naturally have grit and resilience because they've had to deal with.
I think for the most part that's true.
Okay, good.
Yeah, I think for the most part that's true.
So that makes, all right, cool. We know that by hiring people that have autism, we're going to get some of these core values, and now we just got to be able to ask questions around the other ones. That's really great. All right, we have a few minutes left because I could go on for hours. We might have to do another one of these. But I want to ask you about being in a family business. Yeah. Right? Because you partnered with your dad. Yep. I'm fortunate to have partnered with my dad. We have my brothers in my business. Shay, we always call an adopted brother because it's like he's family for us. How has it been building and scaling a business with your dad, and how difficult compared to what you may have done with somebody else, a partner that wasn't family?
So we've been at it together now since 2000 and really late 2011. So we've been at it for a minute. And I can say that early in the relationship, it was really difficult. So,
because he wanted to tell you everything to do. I know best.
So he wanted to tell me everything to do. He also was like, it's like a tension between like wanting to tell me what to do and also wanting to let me develop. Right. And as a 22-year-old kid who thinks he knows everything, I had a lot of really strong opinions that were really wrong.
Good for you that you know that now.
Now I know that. Yeah. At the time.
How long did it take you to develop that? Oh, I don't know everything.
I think I was lucky in that car washing is very humbling.
Yeah.
It's a very humbling business.
Yeah.
It's mechanical, and I was not mechanical at the time.
Yep.
You've got customers, customer service is customer service. Sometimes people aren't so nice.
Yep.
It's physical. So, and then, the summers down here are brutal.
Hot.
It's the type of thing that humbles a person.
Yeah.
And so I think I pretty quickly realized, like, hey, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing at all.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's so great. That's so great.
And I need help. And then at that point, he switched from being like, hey, you're doing it this way.
Right.
To then, okay, you understand, you don't know what you're doing. So now I'm going to coach you to do it.
Well, so you then, whether it's coaching football players, whether it's working with organizations or people inside of organizations and businesses that we work with, whether it's internally, I can tell you for 100%, you can't coach somebody that doesn't want to be coached.
Right.
If they think they already know, you can't do anything to help them.
Yep.
So kudos to your dad for recognizing, like, oh, he's now open. Now I can change my approach.
And he did. And he let me take the lead way before I was ready to.
Right.
Years before I was ready to.
That's cool.
And that definitely, that hurt the wallet for sure, because I made mistakes that
right.
definitely
were expensive
mistakes. Yeah. Part of my tuition, I think. And then at some point we became like, okay, we're each kind of we're each adding value now. It's like kind of mutual. I think that was probably 4 or 5 years in. And then over the last few years, I've started to kind of take over all aspects of the business. As he's kind of phased out, he sees like, okay, you can do this now.
Yep.
And so now I've kind of taken the reins. And
so I got to ask a question, because in a family dynamic, you built this for your brother.
Yep.
At one point, he was an employee of the business. Is he in ownership now? Is he in leadership now? Is he growing? Does he want that? Have you had to peg him down?
He has no desire to go do anything more than he's doing right now. I can't even get him to work the 5th day.
Life is good.
Yeah, life is good. Lives with mom and dad. He's happy. We've tried to get him his own place. He can absolutely live independently. He
doesn't want it. I don't know. Good for him. He knows that he doesn't want it. Why would I do that?
Yeah, seriously. Like, what do you mean? I get dinner and my laundry done? Why would I do that?
That's so
I have to do those things now?
Right.
So
he's happy.
He's happy. He's got a community.
Do you have a desire for him do you want him to grow inside the business?
I think it's really inside the business. I think it's really up to him.
Yeah.
In life, I would like to see him develop more independent living skills, because I think that's going to be important for him as our parents age.
Sure.
So that I'm more focused there.
Yeah.
He comes to work. He does a good job. If he wants to take on more, he'll say it, and we'll make it work.
Right.
But he has.
Is there any nepotism with like employee of the month, and like is he getting his picture up a little more?
So
you make it harder for him. Does he like
I used to make it harder for him, and I think now I'm not. It's more trying to be just objective.
Yeah.
I think he does his job. He does a good job at it, and he's got his people that he loves at work, and we just kind of keep it like a routine that he enjoys.
What's the hardest moment you've ever had working with your dad or your brother, or each, whatever?
So there were so many hard moments with my dad early on. I mean, the business wasn't making money in the first 6 months.
Yeah.
It was raining, and like we had no idea what we were doing.
Right.
And again, he had much more of an idea of what we were doing than I did.
Right.
But I had really strong opinions about it, and there was just nonstop fighting.
Yeah.
And at some point, I think he just decided, hey, the relationship with my son is more important than this either way, so I'm going to let you make your mistakes. I'm going to try to guide you. That was very difficult for him, because he's very much the hardcore, like front of the line leader. I tell you what to do, and this is how you do it.
Yeah.
It's always been how he's been.
Yeah.
So it was really hard for him. Candidly, there were years where we did therapy, and that really helped.
Wow, that's awesome.
Did that together. I think that really matters. I think it is. It's a dynamic that's really difficult for anyone who's not in business with their family to understand.
Yeah.
Because like me and my dad were like best friends before we started the business, and like that. So you would think that that would just carry into business. It doesn't, because it's the degree, like the stakes that are on the line.
When you see your dad turn on that entrepreneur hat, when you see your dad turn on that, like, and you recognize, like, oh, first of all, there's trauma that he has from building businesses. And you don't even have any perception or understanding of that. And so now trying to navigate those waters is really difficult. I've been in the seat, so like I can relate to that a lot. Kudos to you guys to recognizing that therapy would help. Yeah,
and it did. I mean, it helped us kind of understand each other a little bit more. And, you know, I think also part of it is like the natural course of time of like, okay, now we're more even, right? Because when there's such a disparity in like what each of you is capable of, it's got to create friction, right? Like he's literally dragging me to do things early on, and like I'm kicking and screaming. Like, of course, that's going to create friction. At some point, we're like, okay, well, Tom's good at this, John's good at this. We can each do our things, and that's good for the business, good for us, and it worked.
Creating roles and boundaries, which are good for any business, but like double down in a family business, right? Like 100%. Because you gotta know how to communicate, you gotta know what to communicate, you gotta have clear expectations. But so like, give us one story that was like, oh man,
was just terrible,
or could even be with your brother if there was like one like massive blow up.
Andrew's easy.
Andrew's the saint. Oh my god.
There's never. All
right, so one story from you and your dad where it was just like.
So we had just opened our second location, and I was 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. I'm grinding at that point, and I just like had it up to here, and like I don't know, it was something very reasonable that he wanted me to do. I do not remember exactly what it was, but we're like standing in the middle of the interior cleaning department, and I am just like, dropping F-bombs.
Fuck off.
Yeah, like fuck this guy. Like, this is terrible. I'm out of here. Like, and it was like,
happens.
And one of our vendors was with us at the time too, and he's looking at my dad like, you're showing a lot of restraint right now. And yeah, I mean, it was just, I can't say there was anything that was like, because when there's actually like objective things that we needed to figure out, like there was a big problem with the business, we always figured it out. Like, it was more when it was like the emotions and the interpersonal stuff that really challenged us. And like, so like that example, right? So like we've just spent all this money on a new car wash. We made mistakes throughout the whole building process. It's the first commercial build we've ever done.
Right.
And now, we've got this brand new crew. I'm trying to run around, and it's just a mess. Yeah. And I've had it up to here, and now he's asking me to do whatever he's asking me to do. And it's like, I don't want to be told anything right now. I'm just trying to survive. Right. And that, so there wasn't like an actual specific problem, but there was just like this moment.
Blew up, right? What the blow up happens, and then how did your dad address that with you? Like, he showed restraint in front of the vendor, but then like, did he come at you after that? Or
yeah, I mean, for sure. And it was kind of like, like if you were anyone else, you'd be fired right now. Right. And that was we had that conversation more than once.
It's good to know. Yeah, it's good to know that it's normal.
If you were anyone else, you'd be out the door. Yep. And at the same time, if it wasn't a family business, I'd have quit probably 100 times, right? So it's just like there's this level of love and commitment that you have in a family business that just, it keeps you fighting
makes
through
me feel so good, right? It's what we live every day. Yeah. It's what we live every day.
You're going to hang in there even when it gets tough. And at the end of the day, it worked out, right? Because we've got great business, and we've got, our rules, and we're doing a lot of good things.
And somehow during this time, I see you're married. You managed to get married. Do you have kids?
Yeah, I've got one son right now.
Okay, how old's your son?
He's 19 months old.
Wow. Yeah. So somehow through all of that, 14 hours a day, 7 days a week, you got married. You have a family now.
Yeah, my wife's a good person, man.
Is your wife in the business?
No, she's not. Yeah, she's full-time taking care of my son.
Okay, and then... do you have aspirations for your son to join the family business already?
With the way technology moves today, it's hard for me to say anything more than 5 years out. Right. But in the world where we're still able to wash cars the way that we wash cars, and there's a business there, I would love for him to do it.
That's awesome.
Because it's really like, honestly, car washing is so much fun too. Yeah. Because it's like you've got this equipment that does something, you've got all these people, you've got this it's like a real system. Yeah. And it's cool to see like a car come in dirty and like all these things happen and then it comes out nice and clean.
So here's a philosophical question that I think we'll go out on. Is it possible for every business to operate like a car wash?
I think it's definite. I think every business needs to be objective in the way that they hire, and clear in the way that they train, have clear measurable outcomes for what success is in every specific role. And I think that's fundamentally what we do with the car washes and why they're successful. And that is something that absolutely every business could do.
Did you stumble upon that while going through all of the growing, or did you have that given to you and knew that you had to develop that?
Stumbled upon it.
Okay.
Early on, actually, I read the book E-Myth Revisited. By Michael Gerber, and like we were really struggling at this time. And I read this book. I was like, man, this is the answer. Like everything has to be built, even if you're not going to build a franchise. Everything has to be built like a franchise to be turnkey.
Wow.
Every system, every step of the way is clear, documented, objective. And we just started building that way. And every time we built another system that way, it started to work. And it was like, it became.
Oh, yeah, we got it.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, oh my God, like, let's do that again. Like, and that, became just habit, organizational habit at this point. So like we have to do it that way.
Thank you for joining the show. Unbelievable conversation. If people want to connect with you because they love people with autism or they love car washes or whatever, what's the best way for people to get to you?
Best way to get to me is on LinkedIn.
Okay.
Yeah.
We love that place. Yeah. We love that place. We should probably have another conversation about LinkedIn. Tom, thank you so much.
Awesome. Thank you.
Have a wonderful, thank you for finding your edge with us. Hope that you enjoyed the conversation. Let us know what you think. You can roast me in the comments if you want. We'll see you next time.